My name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is February 28th, 2025. And we have officially broken the 100-day channel on Bitcoin. And that is essentially the first major move to the downside in our distribution, and we still have yet to hit our target of between 65 and 70k. This is something I've been talking about on this channel for what, 4 or 5 months, okay? And this has been basically the call that we were in some sort of distributive pattern, some sort of holding pattern that eventually would break down, and the target would be 65 to 70k. We come down to this 80k region, okay? And actually, if you look, so you want to take the height of this channel, right? And that breakdown is almost exactly the height of this channel, the target of that breakdown, yeah? And another feature that I want to draw your attention to is the almost perfect rounded top that the price action formed while breaking down. So at the end of the day, you know, when we talk about rounded tops, rounded bottoms, that's what you keep seeing on a high time frame, small time frame. It's consistent. So that is a good telltale sign when we're looking for these distributive patterns. And the final thing I want to point out is we did get that midline retest after all, okay? I want to just say, as it's happening, it's quite challenging to say that is the midline retest before the breakout. You know, while you're having it, you know, sometimes you lack perspective, and it's like, I'm not really sure what that is, right? I remember thinking that this was going to do something like this, then we break down and do something. It's hard to tell, but in hindsight, it all looks perfect, and it's like, oh, obvious, no shit, right? Breakdown before you break the channel, you test the midline just as we know, and you break the channel almost perfectly, again, the height of the channel. And what else to say about this? Okay, the next move with a high degree of probability is going to be the last aspect of our channel trade. So we know before you leave the boundaries of a channel, you have to retest the midline, and you must retest the boundary of the channel. So when we're in a bullish accumulation channel, that's the top of the channel. When we're in a bearish distributive channel, that is the bottom of the channel. So I see Bitcoin putting in a corrective relief rally, okay? And so on the higher time frame, what this looks like is a big zigzag. So from here, we had this ABC. Now we get another ABC, and then we get a final move, okay? And so I have Bitcoin. If you want to measure it more precisely, oh, by the way, 108 is off the table, if that still needs to be said. Remember, I kept saying 108, 108, 108 is my target. It's no longer my target. Obviously, given what has happened, us breaking down, and you notice that this blue channel, this is a 2-year channel, by the way, it temporarily held Bitcoin's price action, but the midline of this 2-year channel couldn't even hold Bitcoin's price action. It flew below that. That shows you just how weak it is, and how there is no sort of, oh, this is it. People who think it's over are going to find out the hard way. We still have yet to actually dump impulsively. Yes, this is impulsive, but that is not the final impulsive move on this larger breakdown. The target between 65 to 70k has been quite clear for many months, and I still think that is being hit. So how will this relief rally look like? First, let me say this. The relief rally is a counter corrective move. It is not anything that needs the support of the traditional markets, the dollar, to happen. So I can see that happening during the weekend, right? And it's going to look like a flat correction like this. So you see A, B, C more likely than not. And the precise target using Fibonacci would be the 0.5 of this move. 0.5 to 618 of this move. So do you see, if you look at the breakdown as an ABC, the resulting ABC is likely to come between 91 and 94.3. 91K and 94.3 is where I expect Bitcoin to relief rally to. And that is likely to happen on on an off day, because if you look at what the traditional markets are doing, they support this move to the downside. So any relief rally would have to happen off hours. And so I really think that this weekend can be bullish. And I still think that this week, right, the trading week ends on Sunday evening. This week can be bullish for altcoins. It can be bullish for altcoins. I still see that. We'll talk about altcoins in just a second after we finish with Bitcoin. But this relief rally, like I said, ABC between 91 and 94.3. Okay, down on the smaller time frames, you can see you've already started, I believe, putting in your initial break right here. And I would not be surprised if you come down for your B wave and put your C wave in. And this entire relief rally is going to fuel the initial rally in altcoins, which, by the way, our thesis of altcoins rallying before Bitcoin dumps is still on the table, and it's more likely than not to happen, right? This dump from around 92K, let's say, to our target is about a 30% declension. That cannot happen now as altcoins are on support. And obviously anything can happen at any time, but it's unlikely to happen now because altcoins have nowhere to go. They've already bottomed. Selling has been exhausted. So it's likely to happen only after altcoins move up considerably, whereby a 30% declension in Bitcoin is just a regular retracement for altcoins, not necessarily a lower low. Despite all of this selling action, right, that Bitcoin did in this nasty move, once again, you can see that altcoins individually and in concert, or in, I would say, in aggregate, have still not formed a lower low, right? Despite all the difficult, nasty bearish price action, they still have yet to form a lower low. They are showing strength, right? This has not gone to our lows of February 2nd. We've still maintained a higher low, even if barely. Some are stronger than others, mind you, but you have here what's likely a consolidation taking you up and out of this area. And again, my target for altcoins, at least the initial target, is up on top here, at the top of this wedge, at the top of this channel, right? And in aggregate, I have altcoins moving about 70-something%, okay? And that may very well be the one move that takes altcoins off of the base in preparation for Bitcoin's move to the downside. Or you may get even a bigger move in altcoins, right? Taking them not only to the top of this channel, but also retracing to the midline and then breaking the channel. I don't know. I can't answer that. I cannot answer that. But what I do know with a high degree of probability, at the very least, is that altcoins are set to move considerably. And, these are altcoins that we haven't seen any strong impulsive price action, any strong positive price action from, right? At least that's maintained in years, right? At least here on this chart, right? On the aggregate chart, you can count almost 850 days without a significant move to the upside in altcoins in the aggregate. So it's long overdue. I mean, this has been a battle for sure. If you're in altcoins, you definitely feel it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Bitcoin dominance briefly, and I want to show you something. I saw this on Twitter. One of the big accounts actually drew my attention to this, and I added on my I had this on my chart, but I never looked at it in the way that they were looking at it. So I want to give credit where credit's due. I think it was Stock Monkey Lizards, and they basically said that this bottom support is they only they don't have the wedge or anything like that. They just had one line, and they said Bitcoin dominance is breaking down from this one line. Well, actually, to be really accurate, the breakdown already happened. That breakdown happened in November, but it's not super important that you break down. It's like you break down, then you retest, right? Because everything, all corrective moves happen in 3 phases, right? So you have the initial breakdown, you have the retest, and now you have the real breakdown that's happening. And that is the most exciting thing about the Bitcoin dominance chart, which you can see this right here. And let me move this out of the way briefly. Let me hide it so you can see it. But this is on the weekly time frame, right? So look at this weekly time frame doji candle right here. That's basically retesting this long-standing resistance, right? Now it's long-standing resistance. It was support for so long, right? Bitcoin dominance was coming up in this rising wedge. Now it's retesting it as resistance. So lost support being retested as resistance. This breakdown is the move that we've been waiting for, right? We haven't had, like, you look at the total 3 chart, you haven't had any significant consequential positive price action in altcoins in the aggregate in about 850 days. That's reflected in this chart. This would be your first right here. Boom. Okay, that would be your first to around the 55% level on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and that's what I'm seeing. So this candle means it's imminent, and actually on the daily time frame, even smaller time frame, what you're looking at in my estimation is this impulse with 1-2 candles to the downside, 1-2 candles to the upside. I expect this to come up ever so slightly, right, as Bitcoin starts to go up in its relief rally, but altcoins also go up, so it goes up ever so slightly, and then as altcoins start to go up even more and beat Bitcoin, it then turns down, right? Up until now, Bitcoin dominance has only come down because Bitcoin's gone down and altcoins haven't gone down as much. That's the little bit of downside momentum in the Bitcoin dominance chart that you see. The big move down in Bitcoin dominance comes when Bitcoin goes up and altcoins go up that much more. That's when you see the real dump in Bitcoin dominance. That's what we've been waiting for. That's what we have yet to see. So this daily candle, right, ends in about 25 minutes. And so we should see that finish up, and then as altcoins really rally, come down. So this is what I'm excited about. I know it's really been a very long time coming, and the frustration is palpable. If you're not frustrated, you're not paying attention. But all that to say, it is here. It is here, and now is the time. If you're still here, if you're still paying attention, if you're still exposed, congratulations. You should be able to take advantage of this imminent move up in altcoins. I don't know if we only do the aggregate 70% move, or we also do the subsequent retracement and then the break up and out of the 500-day channel that altcoins have been in. I don't know, but I know for not a fact, but with a high degree of probability that we're going to see some nice green candles in the altcoin space. Let's look at one and then get out of here. So let's look at Ethereum. And one of you commented, oh my god, Ethereum's breaking down. Like, Ethereum's basically back at support. Like, you know, this is, what, 200-day support, if I recall? Let's see. No, 1,000-day support. It's back at 1,000-day support. It hasn't broken anything. It's back at 1,000-day support, okay? And where's my pen? Oh, there it is. You see this inverse cup and handle or bullish reversal pattern, whatever you want to call it, rising wedge, break up, and then your retest in 3, in a flavor of 3, flat correction. And this right here, your most recent move on the weekly, is nothing but another retest of this level. You know, that is going to hold, as it seems like, you know, it's finding some buying pressure down here. You turn on your stochastic momentum indicator, and your stochastic RSI momentum indicator on the weekly time frame is just crossing bullish. On the daily time frame, it's almost about to cross bullish. I mean, this is imminent, and I'm using Ethereum because it's the king of altcoins. And if Ethereum doesn't move, then, you know, you're not going to get an aggregate run. Ethereum's looking like it's about to move. Look at this daily candle, right? It's really strong. This is your February 2nd capitulative move. Ethereum came down ever so slightly back at that level. What do you think the next move is? A continued drawdown or a big move up? I think it's a big move up. I think your next target for Ethereum is 4,000. After that, you get a retest of the top of this, and then you fly up. So that's what I'm seeing, and I think this is going to happen in the coming hours. I still maintain that this week, the weekly candle for altcoins is going to be green, and it's going to be nice. And we have, what, Friday, Saturday, and all of Sunday. So we have 3 days to put it in. I still think you're going to get that. Guys, that's it for me. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider tipping me by Venmo, Cash App, Litecoin, and consider my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service, one-on-one with me, 1 to 2 hours every month, help you get into altcoins that are actually going to move and make sustained gains in this coming bull market.
While the world spins without me, arrived at the fork in the road, could turn back, repeat the same story, or march forward and embrace change and reflect upon his glory. I'm a selfish man, therein lies the whole problem, torn between my actions and the will of my heart. I had to take it all apart to see where I stood as a man, to depart from this world and leave it in his hands. Come on.
Looks like I'm heading for the gold, y'all. Touring on a pothole road, y'all. I get it even if I didn't fit in, winning right up to the end, like I didn't even know, y'all. I have Pop's genetics, working hard never to get it, like shit I better than letting life get the best of my efforts. Instead I dedicated to bettering my steps, measuring investments, watch me do it to the death, y'all.